Hello, everyone. How are you? Happy September 1st. Welcome to our 1 year anniversary special episode. All right, so it wasn't actually intended to be a 1 year anniversary special episode. We are supposed to release on our regular day, which is every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, a couple of things. First, I actually originally recorded the material for this episode on Tuesday and then got all caught up with everything Disney. I was and still am actually on vacation. We had were spending time at Disney. We were there for a week, staying at the beautiful Fort Wilderness campgrounds, and so I had recorded it, and what ended up happening was there was I don't know. I guess my old headphones, my earbuds. Were grounded. So the all the stuff that I had recorded Tuesday was unusable. Was unusable anyways, right? Like there was a really annoying buzz on the recording that I just could not get rid of. So I am re-recording this for that reason, and also, well, again, we're late due to the fact that I had got distracted at Disney. I had some friends, some dear friends, visit us at Fort Wilderness, so I wasn't actually able to edit it in time. And as I was editing it today here Wednesday for the Thursday release, just had to realize that I had to re-record. So ends up gonna be a 1 year anniversary special episode for many reasons. I guess primarily because it's our 1 year anniversary. So enjoy the show.
You're listening to
Path of the Jedi.
with your host, Ronnie Cruz.
All right, welcome to Path of the Jedi, the podcast where Star Wars meets personal development. My name is Ronnie Cruz, your host for this thrilling adventure. Thrilling because, well, it's thrilling for a lot of reasons, actually. 1 year anniversary to the day, September 1st, 2021. I almost got my years confused. Was when we first launched Path of the Jedi, and here we are a year later, going strong, working to continue to provide great content for your listening pleasure, and also thrilling because we just spent a week down in Orlando at one of my favorite places on earth, Walt Disney World. We were camping at the Fort Wilderness campgrounds, and had an amazing time. Of course, got a chance to go into Galaxy's Edge. Can't miss that, right? Like as a huge Star Wars fan as I am, there was no way that I'm not going to go to Galaxy's Edge when I'm down at Disney. So that's always fun. And then, of course, we got a chance to ride some new stuff. Over at Epcot, they have the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which in itself is incredibly thrilling. And then we also got a chance to catch Ratatouille, which is an incredibly fun ride. I love all the stuff at Epcot. Epcot is, I think, so after Galaxy's Edge, Epcot is definitely my favorite park. And Galaxy's Edge is not even a park. It's just a zone in a park, like a region in one of the parks. But Galaxy's Edge is definitely my favorite. But after that, Epcot for sure. There's so much there, and I love. I'm loving all the new updates and the new rides that they're putting in. A lot of fun. Disney for me never. What's the word I'm looking for? Never seems to fail. No. Never disappoints. That's what I'm looking to say here. Disney never disappoints. No, I have some very kind of core foundational memories from childhood that really, I don't know. Disney will always hold a special place in my heart. And so that's why I spend as much time down there as I can. Pre-pandemic, we were going down there at least 3-4 times a year. A little bit less now, of course, after pandemic, but we still are enjoying our time so much every time that we go down there, no matter how often or how infrequent we go. It's always such a blast. So a couple things real quick, actually, before I get into the thick of the episode. I'm still recording outside. We're actually, again, we've moved on from Fort Wilderness, but we're still camping. We're still got another couple of days on our vacation. So you may hear nature noises, right? Like I think you can hear I think those are tree frogs. I don't know, cicadas maybe. A lot of outdoor woodsy kind of noises. You might hear the occasional vehicle. This campground in particular is a little more quiet than the Fort Wilderness. I mean, everything at Disney is always there seems to be no more slow season, busy season, right? Like it used to be when we first started really going down to Disney about 6, 7 years ago. Um, yeah. We would, there were definitely distinct months out of the year, distinct seasons that were slower than others. But now it's like it's always jam packed. Quite the opposite where we are now. It's definitely a lot more calm. We're actually right outside of Georgia. For those of you who love to camp and visit state parks, this is an amazing park called Skidaway State Park. Yeah, it's a gorgeous place, quiet. The sites are nice and spacious, and yeah. It's always, I don't know. I always enjoy the outdoors. Very calming, as opposed to doing like hotel stays, which nothing wrong with that. It's just a personal preference. I really love being closer to the outdoors and having instant access as soon as I step out my room. Well, out of the camper, I'm immediately outdoors. So yeah, that's where we are. So yeah. Just so let you guys know, the background noise is still because we're outdoors and camping. Okay, so back to the core message that I wanted to share with you guys, and getting back to my connection and deep love for Disney. Well, okay, so part of it for me, like the ideas and perspective that I want to share with you, it started off me thinking about Disney, right? Like for me, and I think for majority of the people in my generation, we don't know a world without Disney. Certainly, I mean, Walt Disney World, the resort itself, the parks, just had their 50th anniversary this year, so it's 50 years old. I'm 46, so there's definitely not been a world that I've lived in that Disney World didn't exist, and of course, certainly, Disney, the movies and all the other entertainment things. And so I started thinking of it from the perspective of like technology and cell phones and smart devices and things like that, and internet and social media. How this generation of kids right now don't know a life without these technologies, right? And I think sometimes people who knew a life before these technologies kind of disparage it as corrupting and ruining our attention spans, and it's going to cause the fall of civilization, and we're getting dumber and dumber as a species because of it. All right, so that's another thing you might you guys encounter, the occasional barky dog. That's my dog Shadow. She is very much our alarm dog, and will bark at anything and everything that walks anywhere within 100-yard vicinity of our camp. So please forgive. I'll try to edit it when I can, but I was rolling with the thought when she barked there, so I don't know if I can edit that out. Anyways, moving right along. I think technology and advances and in those kinds of things, and forward motion and progress gets disparaged as kind of ruining things, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I do think it affects how how people think, right? How people think, and it affects how people interact, right? I don't think that progress necessarily is a bad thing. I mean, obviously we can't stop it, right? Technology is here, and it's not going away. In fact, it's accelerating at an incredible clip. So the conversation really that I wanted to have, and okay, so this is another reason, actually. Sorry, let me backtrack. I had intended to record this episode at Galaxy's Edge. Like, how cool would that be to have a Star Wars podcast recorded live at at Star Wars itself, right in the middle of Galaxy's Edge? Logistically, was completely impossible, right? There's so much noise, there's so many people around. On top of that, like it would literally just rain out of nowhere, and I'm not just talking like a sprinkle. torrential downpour. So conditions were just wasn't conducive to being able to have, well, yeah, and also my attention span, right? There's just too much stimuli at that point. Like I know I've said that the more stimuli, external stimuli there is externally, the better I focus, but that's too much stimuli, right? Like, and it's Star Wars stimuli. So there is no way, again, logistically with all the noise and the rain and everything, and then with my attention span, there was no way I was going to be able to record at Galaxy's Edge as much as I thought that would have been a great idea. The main thing though, the main reason why I decided not to record over there was because I didn't want to be taken out of the moment, right? Like that to me is a big deal, especially when I'm at Disney. I just want to be there. I just want to be in the experience, in the here and now, and not be pulled away, right? Because that's why we go there, right? And I get like, when people are building their social media accounts, they're catching footage and things like that. I get that. You go there partially for work, but for me, I go there to enjoy. And I like to be present. And I bring this up because that really is what for me connected these two thoughts of, okay, so this generation has these tools and these technologies and, this internet and the social media. And again, I'm not disparaging it because there is a lot of conversation that's like, well, you look at a family going out to dinner and they're all on their cell phones and it's ruining communication, it's ruining relationships. And that's not really true. It's not the technology itself, it's how we use the technology, right? It's how we use these tools. That's all they are. It's just another medium of connecting. However, what I do want you guys to be aware of is that this technology has a potential to pull you out of the moment, to pull your attention to something that's, like some distant thing, whether it's a social media that you're looking at, then you're scrolling through, whether it's videos, whether it's a text or messages that you're checking, whether it's email, it immediately pulls you out of the here and now. And again, it draws your attention to some far off thing. So I want you to be aware of that. No moralistic judgment. Like I said, I'm not concerned with that conversation of it ruining families, right? That's not where I'm coming from. But I like, for me, it's just that level of awareness. And I think I talked about that in a past episode that really, I mean, we can control the things we're aware of. We can change the things that we're aware of, and if you're aware that your attention is being drawn away from the present, the here and now, the where you are at that moment, then you can be intentional when you do it. Just like I was intentional with not having my attention taken away from the here and now when we were at Galaxy's Edge. I consciously made the decision to be present because I didn't want to lose the time and the experience. Because honestly, time is all we have, right? If time is all we have to really, at least in my opinion, like I'd rather spend as much of it in the here and now than not. Right? Than giving it away and just being completely not present, right? Because then there's the chance that you might miss out on the experience that's happening in the here and now, right? In that present moment. For me, the example was obviously it was Galaxy's Edge, right? But whatever the situation, like you see. Like I just again want you guys to be aware. As soon as you check your phone, as soon as you check anything on your smart device to check into the internet and see what's going on in some other part of the world, you're taking yourself out of that present moment, and you're potentially missing out on an experience that's happening where you are right in the here and now. Right. So that's really what I wanted to share with you guys, because like again, well, the other thing was. Why I think this is important, because there is obviously a expiration date to the time that we have, right? Obviously that was, a big kind of life lesson. Well, not really lesson, because I've been aware of my mortality for quite a long time. I mean, since a very young age. But it's a theme that I just have had to revisit in a very personal manner with the loss of our dog. And then I've just started listening to a podcast, which you guys should check out, a podcast by Justin Long, right? It's called Justin Life is Short by Justin Long, and he really like I one of the main through lines in the show is that yeah, life is short, right? So you got to be able to enjoy the here and now and be really present, because you could potentially miss out, and all of a sudden in the blink of an eye it's done, right? So check him out. Life is Short with Justin Long. I think that's the exact title. And tell him that Ronnie sent you from Path of the Jedi. It's a great show. It's a great show. Justin's a great interviewer. So yeah, that's the message. That's really the message I wanted to share with you. Again, it's not to disparage the technology. It's not to disparage, the social media and the internet and all that stuff. I mean, that stuff is beautiful. That stuff is beautiful. But really, it's just to raise your awareness around these tools so that you can be intentional when you use them, right? So that's it. That's it. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's going to be a relatively shorter episode today, because I want to really get this out there so you guys can listen to it. The main thing is, well, yeah, celebrate our our 1 year anniversary. So thank you guys for tuning in. And I'm actually just going to roll right into the shout out. Right, for this week. This week's shout out goes to Path of the Jedi. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? Like I always talk about how much I love to celebrate people, and I do. I absolutely love it, and I think that's a thing that I really hope becomes more of well, it's definitely, I want to kind of spread that, right? I hope it becomes more contagious for you guys, just to celebrate people and everybody, and like the people you care about, the people you love. But one thing also is, remember to celebrate yourselves, right? I always, I had a, it was my acupuncturist. I actually gave her a shout out on one episode for helping me to remember to celebrate myself and to give myself a pat on the back. So in this episode, I want to give a shout out to Path of the Jedi and just celebrate. It's an incredible accomplishment, I think. There's been podcasts just in the 1 year that I've been doing this that have come and gone. Right, that have come and gone, and so it's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to commit to, and like it's something to celebrate. Like I'm pretty proud of it, and obviously this is just the beginning. 1 year under the belt, and there's many more years to come. So thank you guys, thank you all for being on this journey with us here at Path of the Jedi. It's an incredible time to be alive. I know wherever you happen to be listening, I can't thank you guys enough for supporting and hanging out with me for, the 15, 20, 30 minutes that you do on this show. So thank you all very, very much. This week's shout out goes to Path of the Jedi and all its beautiful listeners. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully the message made sense, right? Hopefully that message made sense. As much as I had wished to have recorded this at Galaxy's Edge, it just wasn't possible. And I appreciate all of your patience for letting me release this a day late. And it just works out that it is our 1 year anniversary today, September 1st. So thank you all so much. We'll catch you next week with a fresh new episode. Until then, be well, be safe, and may the Force be with you.